I could not be more excited this morning. We are in the kitchen for our Dale's Cook-Off Challenge. Joah Norris. You always hear us talking about him. This is Joah, the Studio 10 photographer. He rarely has a mic, but now you have a mic, Joah.
Yes, I can talk. We're good to go.
They can hear your voice. Well, first off, before we get started in here, introduce yourself. Tell them a little bit about you.
I'm Joah. I'm the photographer for Studio 10. I from Frisco City, Alabama, which is about an hour and a half north of here in the country.
That's
like
right,
a little Baldwin County. That's why we're cooking deer burgers today.
That's right. And you got to tell everybody you have the cutest little son. You have to talk about CJ.
His name is CJ, Carter James.
And he's cute.
Yes, he's too cute. He's just turned 1 a couple months ago, and I love him to death. It
was Joah and his wife's first child, and so anyway, I just wanted you to know a little bit about Joah because we all know him. But again, this morning he is part of the Dale's Cook-Off Challenge. Now, what the challenge was is to make a recipe including Dale's, and we're going to have 3 entries. The first was Joe, and he made Dale's with some tilapia. Today we're going to be cooking with deer meat, one of my favorite things. I think you picked this just because of me,
yes,
Joah. And then third, we're going to have Cherish cooking her recipe with Dale. So today is the second entry in it. So let's go ahead and get started. Talk a little bit about your recipe. I know you have some special ingredients.
Yes. First, what I did was half a cup of marinade of this, and I marinated it for 12 hours, so overnight.
So this is the marinade. Hey, you came prepared, right?
Yes.
All right.
12 hours, half a cup of Dale seasoning, and 2 tablespoons of honey. So let that go for about 12 hours or so. And then when you take it out, this is just a whole concoction of different things. And if you put this all together, it makes like a cup. And it consists of...
I see you have a list
Yes,
here.
I've got a long list. 2 tablespoons of cracked bell pepper.
Okay.
2 tablespoons of salt, brown sugar, garlic powder, rosemary, ground mustard, cayenne pepper, onion powder, and it makes about 2 cups.
And this is your own little concoction.
Yes.
So what else do you use it on besides hamburgers?
Anything. You can put it on steaks, any kind of ground beef, anything like that.
That sounds pretty good,
so
Joah.
the rule of thumb is about a pound, 1 tablespoon for 1 pound. It's about 1.5 pounds, so we'll use 2 tablespoons to put on this.
Okay, and again, you've had this meat marinating for about 12 hours now, and so now we're adding the special concoction that Joah has come up with.
And we'll have that recipe on. It's not a secret. It's not a Rabbit Hill secret, but
Rabbit Hill secret. I like that.
It's so that's about 1.5 tablespoons.
Now, Joah, can you tell me, as far as cooking hamburgers are concerned, the marinade, what's the most important part?
Everything.
Everything?
Well, I mean, if you're in a hurry and you're at the house and you just bought the hamburger, don't skip the seasoning.
Yeah.
But, if you don't have time to marinate it, that's fine.
Yeah.
But then you'll be missing out on the awesome Dale seasoning, so you don't want to do that either.
Now, let's talk about this deer meat that you have graciously provided us with this morning. Did you kill this deer?
No, my dad did. This is from Rabbit Hill. Oh, I put the thing on backwards there. This is from my dad killed in Rabbit Hill, and this past year, and it's been sitting in the freezer, and it's
I use deer meat for spaghetti. I use deer meat. I use deer meat for almost everything that you can think of. Sloppy Joes. I make it with everything.
Spaghetti,
I love it.
Anything you can put in ground beef, you can do this. So, it's fine.
So right now you're putting the concoction that you created. You're mixing it in with the meat.
Mixing it in. And what I do is I just fold it all in itself. That way you can spread the seasoning over every little piece. And don't go heavy with the seasoning because then you're taking away from the deer meat, and you don't want to do that either.
I have a feeling this is going to be a strong contender in the Dale's Cook-Off Challenge.
So.
Again, as I mentioned, Joe cooked tilapia with Dale's last week, and he let his marinade in it as well. So you can use Dale's with a variety of different things, fish and meat, and as we're cooking today, hamburgers. I don't know what Cherish's recipe is, but she'll be cooking for the Dale's Cook-Off Challenge next week. So we're going to continue to work on our patties here for our deer burgers, and Joe is actually going to put a little cheese in these patties coming up with Michael in the next cooking segment. So excited to have you, Joah, and I can't wait to taste it in just a little bit.
And we're back here in the Studio 10 kitchen with our Studio 10 photographer, Joah Norris, making venison burgers, also known as deer meat burgers.
That's right.
And I'm looking forward to trying them, but we got to cook it first. And what's our next step in that process?
The next
Joah?
step is something I like to do to keep these binded.
Okay.
Sometimes, you know, you put them on the grill and they kind of fall apart. Well, this way you'll just grab turnbow, if you can look right there, tight shot. See, just pull off this. You don't want that other side of the bread. You just want this top. And just pull off little bitty chunks on both sides. You kind of have to do
it a little bit toward the camera, so
there you go. See, just pull off, but you don't want that side. Just pull off just a little bit until you get in.
Okay.
Then you'll do the other, and this is all you need is one side of each for about 1.5 pounds. And this is just gonna keep them together. They're not gonna fall apart on you, I guarantee it. And if they, this way they also absorb a lot of that juice that tries to fall out.
Is it a lot easier to have them break apart than with standard hamburger meat?
Yes, definitely. Because it tends to dry out a little bit more. They don't take as long to cook, but that bread, it'll just bind it and you'll be good to go.
Awesome.
All right, and once you don't have to go much into it. It's not going to change the flavor or anything. It'll be good to go. All right, and then we'll start making them up.
Okay.
And since
You
we're
just
going
make standard patties?
Yeah, and what I like to do is kind of ball them. And see how there's cracks right there? Just right on the edge there. See how they're cracked?
Yeah, I see that.
Roll it until there's no crack. When there is no crack, then you know it's good and it will not fall apart.
What
on
happens
you.
if you do have the crack?
It just falls.
Okay.
It just falls apart on you. Plus, we're making these, since we're stuffing these with cheese,
okay,
you definitely want to make your patty really good. All right, if you won't mind cutting me off.
Cutting the cheese?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay, you want just a little piece?
Yeah. Right
now, what kind of cheese is this?
That's Colby Jack, Boar's Head. Right. That'd be good right there.
There you go, my friend.
Put that right in the middle. All right, and then you'll make another one.
Okay.
And then I'll put that.
So we're sort of making cheese venison burgers.
Yes, and you can stuff them with anything. Since we're judging the contest,
yeah.
You can put mushrooms, onions, and you can just stuff
whatever
them in
toppings you love.
Yes.
You have free reign with.
Yes, just stuff them in there. It cooks around it, and when it's done, the cheese will melt out the sides, and it's just wonderful. And what I do is just put them like that, and then mash the edges.
Oh, so you put two pieces of meat together?
Yes.
Oh, so it's like a double meat cheese venison burger.
Yes.
Wow.
And then see how those cracks are there? There's those cracks. Just keep smashing till they disappear. And then when they do, you know you're good, and you're not gonna have. You don't want the cheese leaking out.
Yeah.
No, none of that. So and it won't happen.
How often do you have these at your place, Joah?
Often.
Often?
Yes.
Are they good?
Very good. You will enjoy it, I promise.
So when we're done patting all these down, how long are we going to put it on the stove for?
It just kind of depends because it really depends on how big your hands are. I just do it where it just fits perfectly in my hand.
All right.
So that's just, if you got smaller hands, bigger hands, but just make sure if you got an internal thermometer, 165 degrees, make sure they're done, and then they're good to go.
Well,
there's one right there.
All right. Well, we will finish putting these patties together, and then we're going to cook them. And Chastity will be back for the final cooking segment, but I'm going to be one of the judges, so I'm really looking forward to jumping into the taste test here because Emer did it last week, so you've got a big challenge with that.
How am I looking so far?
Based on just the raw appearance, I think you're going to do very well. Plus, I don't like Joe anyway, so I think that's going to help.
All right.
All right. We'll be back in the kitchen a little bit later.
Back in the kitchen here for our Dale's Cook-Off Challenge. This is the second segment in it. We had Joe cooking first. I was thinking Cherish. Joe cooked first. We have Joah, our Studio 10 photographer, cooking segment. Cherish will cook next week, and then it will all be decided by these three judges joined here. Marcus, we have Michael White, and we have Kelly, all being our judges. And Joah, are your hamburgers up to par?
Yes, they are ready to go.
Well, he is going to plate them up. And Joah, as from the last cooking segment, we've added some cheese on here.
Yes, added a different kind of cheese, and you can do this when you're out your home, when you're on your grill. Just put them on the last minute or so when they're ready. Put them on. Also, about the same time, you put your bread on too, straight on the grill, and let them get all toasty, and you get a little crunch. Not too much. You don't want to burn it, but just a couple minutes, and they're good to go, so we can plate them up.
And these are deer burgers if you've missed the first couple of segments. And of course, you can cook deer meat. You can make them in hamburgers, use them in spaghetti. Deer meat is one of my favorite things, so I'm excited to try
That's
this.
good.
Yeah.
There we go.
And you can, of course, get the recipe on our Studio 10 page on fox10tv.com. Of course, this challenge is all around Dale's. Every recipe has to involve Dale's, and actually, Joah let his hamburger meat, or deer meat, I should say, season for 12 hours
Yes.
in Dale's before we cooked this morning.
Yes, so we're ready to go, and so we want to cut it up in
Yeah, we'll cut it
pieces?
in half, and we'll let everyone try it. I know everybody's really excited.
That is a mega size.
So how does this look, guys? You guys
It looks
Smells
good.
great.
I know
All
it
right,
just
there's
said
your-
it's,
there's
when
your
it said
cheese right
deer.
there.
Look at that. See the cheese?
Oh, watch out, Joah.
Watch out
You're
now.
all
Let's get
fancy,
together.
huh?
And I think the key factor is he said deer because, being in the area down in our area, Mobile and Baldwin County like that, and this season coming around, so it's pretty good
Be right
thing
here
you're doing
before
there
you
right
know
now.
it.
Yeah, we're good to go.
Okay,
All right.
you guys, grab a bite. We've got to wrap this up, and I want to see how it tastes.
All right, here we go. You ready, Joah?
Here you go,
Come on.
Michael.
Oh.
Good bite.
Come on, Kelly, get one.
Oh, look at the
Oh, you
juices.
do.
This is not going to be pretty.
It's really good. It's
All
really
right,
good.
judges.
I think you just put Emer to shame.
Oh, yeah.
How's the
It's
deer
hot,
meat,
be
Kelly?
careful.
Really good.
It doesn't taste like deer meat. It's very, very
And
good.
I also, right at the end there, I put a little rosemary on top. When you put it on your burger, you can
Perfect.
also put it under your cheese. We put the cheese on top and let that.
And this
sit on
isn't
top.
even the way you normally cook it.
I
You
know.
usually don't cook it on a stovetop.
No, usually on the
No.
grill, but
Kelly's enjoying
For the
it.
magic of television, that's what we try to do.
That's right.
good.
Well, we've got Cherish's cooking segment in the final segment of the Dale's Cook-Off Challenge coming next week, and then these three are going to decide the winners. I don't know what Cherish is cooking yet. I haven't heard
sure.
anything, so you're going to have to tune in next week to see what Cherish is cooking. In the meantime, we're going to enjoy our deer burgers. Good job,
thank
Joah.
you. Want to say hi to everybody on Rabbit Hill. Y'all take care. Love y'all. So really, how are they?
Oh, it's good.
Good?
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
Dude, I ate the whole thing. What does that tell you?